Welcome to Design Build Workshop. In this video, we're going to work on another project that upcycles an item and costs almost nothing other than the labor. We're going to install a pallet wall. So the garage shop is a mess, I understand that. However, a couple years ago, I did this, where I did kind of a partial pallet wall, and I had some leftover paint that I put up there. That still needs to happen over here. And what I want to do is continue that across there and onto this other wall over here and finish all that. And you can see I started on the bottom and never got to the top as far as the paint. So I think today we're going to go ahead and work on that. First, we'll need to source some pallets. Luckily, there have been a bunch of pallets collecting in the back of my place of employment. So I asked my manager if he minded that I help get rid of them. He responded very enthusiastically with a yes. I think you'll find a similar response. To get the most character for the wall, you'll want pallets that have been out in the weather for a bit. The easiest way to harvest the useful boards is to use a sawzall with a really long blade and just focus on cutting through the nails. I found a gallon of paint that had never been opened from when my house was built, so it came in pretty handy for the painted area of my wall. Another freebie for this build. My builder's idea of a finished garage was installing the windows with drywall gapped about an inch away from the window frame. Well, that actually makes it easier to put up this pallet trim, so thanks, I guess. Once the windows are trimmed out, I made a valance with more pallet boards offset about an inch so the blinds will function properly. So now that we have all the stuff off the wall, it's time to kind of figure out where our studs are. So we're going to go ahead and use our stud finder. All right, that's one edge. Of course, I don't have a pencil. Let's see. All right. Okay. We're going to call that pretty much center. Right there. And you can tell, so I've already got the lines drawn on here because of the piece I had up here before. I had pegboard up here. So I know where those studs are. The corners we don't have to worry about because we know there's going to be support behind there. All I got to do is draw this one line right through here. And then we can go ahead and start putting our boards up. All right, so now that I have a pencil, this is going to go a heck of a lot better. So we're going to find the center of that mark, and then I'm going to go ahead and level this out. I'm hoping not to have to move my lathe to be able to get into here, but I don't know. It might be a little tricky, but we'll see. Okay, that'll give us enough to go by. So one of the things you're going to notice about the pallets or the pallet boards when I laid them out is that I've got them separated by width. And what that does is when I run a line across, say I start at the top, and maybe I'm going to run this width, I'll run that all the way across. And the reason I'm going to do that is it keeps it relatively uniform as far as I'll run this width and then I'll grab another one, say this wider width, and I'll run it, right? Now, of course, I'm going to stagger the joints, but if I don't do that and I run I run a board here, and then I run another one of these. Now all of a sudden I've got this offset that I've got to deal with, and then I'm going to end up ripping down a whole lot of stuff just trying to get this all to fit. So that's why I separate these out into widths first, and then I'll run one width all the way across, and then choose a different one and run that across. The other thing is normally with a pallet wall, you're going to paint the wall black, or at least a really dark gray. And that's to hide any of the wall that's going to show through. Because this is a garage, I'm cutting myself some slack. So we're just going to leave it as is. The other one I did before that you saw in the earlier part of the video is that it's really tight. So you really don't see much of the wall through it anyway. Make sure when you start your first row, you have drawn a straight level line to work from. Okay, so we got this wall done, the back wall. You can see what I did as far as I staggered the joints. So we cut some pieces, cross-cut some pieces so that they weren't always the same width or length, excuse me. That way you don't have a vertical line going. I staggered the widths. So you can see I've got a wide one here, kind of a medium, a little narrower, another wide one, really narrow one right here. So just vary it, and that way it won't look, it'll look really staggered and not uniform. So the last one is to get that corner over there, or next one I should say is to get that corner. And then we've got to do the upper piece up there and then one of these verticals, and then we're done. I got a little lazy on this small piece of wall section on the end as I ran more single boards all the way across instead of breaking up the pattern. I did this in 2 or 3 rows to break it up somewhat. The last bit is to run the upper trim for what I have done with my design. On this wall, I will end up with 3 open panels of painted wall that I think I will use for signage or maybe some funky decoration in the near future. All right, that pretty much takes care of the corner. Got the upper part done, got this other vertical done. The back wall here, I didn't split them up as much, so I have a lot of pieces that just go all the way across. Just because it's such a short span, I didn't feel like trying to stagger stuff over and over again, because you're just not going to see it that much. So now that this part's done, I got a lot of cleanup to do. Once I get the cleanup done, then I'm going to tackle the back wall, and we'll see how that goes. I hope you enjoyed this video on the pallet wall build. I really appreciate your support and hope you will hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Look for more design build videos coming soon on Design Build Workshop.